Trust, yeah. Competition looking hella washed. But you said you ain't tricks, man, I got what you drove. Yeah, looking at the game, it's looking hella toss. Yeah, running circles round it while they're trying to cross. Yeah, fast creative players, I want 10 of those. Yeah, this year I'm playing, smashing hella pros. Yeah, about to witness one tactical masterclass. Yeah, you gon' get embarrassed if you dare oppose. See? Christmas really has come early this year, isn't it? The Tryhards Rtg to glory. I'm actually pumping this out via the Lego Padme FC media team. This is actually done under their jurisdiction, and they're under the very same control that the club is and the funds. You know, Lego Padme is very much kind of the queen, the royalty, but unfortunately a lot of the kind of political decisions, almost like the Republic, are being run by other people, and that is the board of directors. And I've said everything I can. There's only so much I can say on the official kind of Lego Padme FC media channel and all the rest of that. You know, I don't want to lose my job. At the end of the day, you know, there is something that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a bit of a legacy. I'm trying to build a squad. I'm trying to put these chaps together to fight. So, yeah, I mean, it's going pretty well so far. What, are we 13-0? And we've had Zaha come in, and he's one of those players that basically every week, obviously, depending on how well you do in FUT Champions, you are going to get almost like a supply box that drops down with a bunch of players that are cryogenically frozen. And you just have to basically unfreeze them and just hope they're in good condition when they get out of that freezing. Because the thing is, Zaha, when we took him out, he wasn't looking good. And that's why he couldn't start. He couldn't start the games. He just wasn't looking good. He didn't know what was going on. He really didn't. So, you know, we tried to put him on a treadmill when he fell off. We were laughing. Obviously, we were laughing. But, you know, is it funny? Is it actually funny? Because I don't know whether I should have been laughing. I actually feel a little bit guilty for laughing. But at the end of the day, we need to get results. And we need to get, as much as, yeah, maybe a top-class player with a lot of talent, if he's not at it, then we're not going to do that well. So, yeah, we started bringing him more and more off the bench and putting him on, you know, around about half-time, and he was starting to make a big impact. You could tell he had a lot of talent. You really could. Like, he had the skill moves, all of that. He was really screaming. So, Julian Brandt, another player who's worked hard for his place. He's worked so hard, man. And he's been kind of in and out of squads. Some people have been saying, is he really good enough? Like, he's not really got much market value or anything like that. Like, is he really good enough to be in the first team at Lego Padme? It's a good question. It really is a good question, but he seems to have all the answers. He really does. He just keeps scoring game on game, getting in the half spaces. You can see his run there, even though he's not actually getting the ball that Harry Kane's decided to take him off it, and then get his phone out and start vlogging it saying, unlucky Julian or whatever, you wanted that, didn't you? Then I think he started swinging for each other, and there was a bit of a fight going on, but I don't really mind my players fighting each other. You know, they're not really staying past this weekend, I'll be quite honest with you. You know, I'm actually getting sick to death of some of these lads. You know, Harry Kane, like I say, he's a bit of a personality in the changing room. He's quite an annoying one, really. He's vlogging everything. He's just recording every time he does a nice little pass. Doesn't give anyone else credit. It's all him. You know, fair enough, he's quite selfish and he does bang in the goals, but it's getting on everyone's nerves, I think. You know, as we're going into this next game and stuff, I think everyone was starting to feel it a bit. So Wilfried Zaha, he comes on, wins the penalty, making it 2-0. And the win streaks are looking sick. And I'm getting a lot of texts from lots of different people, from all sorts of different planets. And they're telling me that I am the next big thing. But Lego Padme FC really can go places, and that, you know, they didn't really think that this club was going to go anywhere. They didn't really think it even had a hyperdrive. Like, it really could just get going. But I think we're proving them wrong game by game. The fans are turning up in numbers. Real fans. And I'm really proud of them. I'd actually, you know, a massive shout out to all the fans. Lego Padme FC, because they really are just kind of spurring on our team. Where other teams are using CGI players with all sorts of sound effects and all of that. You know, some of the sound effects do get to you. You know, I've heard like Rancor sound effects and kind of just really scary stuff. You know, Sith Lightning and stuff. And it makes you kind of, whoa, who's that type thing? You kind of turn around. And then you just see Nicholas Breslin, my assistant manager, staring at you. Then it's just kind of back to reality. We just got a bunch of frauds to my left and right. And there's nothing to be afraid of.
Nothing at all. So, yeah, Richarlison goes down the right-hand side, giving it to Rodrigo, and you can clearly see PK's pace. The guy's rapid. But for some reason now, maybe it's just a bit unfortunate. You know, I protect my players to the death. I will stand in front of my players and just take all the bullets. Almost as if, you know, they're a bunch of clones. And I'm the Jedi with a lightsaber just kind of stopping all the laser bolts getting through. And I will defend them. So I really think, like I say, PK, a lot of people are questioning his pace. We sent a video through which some people are saying is slightly edited because he ran 100 meters in 8.7 seconds, which is actually a new world record. And I don't really understand why people are saying it's edited. We've known for a long time that PK's got the legs. He really has. So we're 18-0 up against class on grass. And I think this was, what's his name? Director Krennic, I think, has come through with his team. And he's quite a good strategist. And I knew sort of as he turned up, he actually turned up in an Imperial shuttle. And he had something about him. He was screaming at me, like, trying to ask, like, you know, where's my family and all of that? Like, where are they hiding? And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, this guy's, you know, there's intimidation and mind games, and then there's that type thing. He was really going for me, for going for the jugular from minute one. And, you know, best believe I was getting a bit scared, but my team just had enough for him. And he got taken down, 3-1. I sent him off. Sent him off crying. He was getting really, really angry, just screaming, you know, deploy the garrison or whatever, and his team just weren't going. They just weren't going at them at all. So it's a shame, really, but this next team that we come up against was actually very, very solid. It was a really solid team, and I honestly didn't even get to see who it was that was the manager, like the opposition manager, but he clearly had some strats. He was actually basically counter-attacking using his pace against us, which, you know, like I said, kind of doesn't make any sense considering PK obviously running 100 meters in about 8.7 seconds, but they were actually able to perhaps just get a little bit fortunate with how the legs were moving at times. Perhaps they were just flowing them quite nicely, and perhaps they managed to figure out a way to get in the headspace of PK, who just kind of put like a speed limit on himself. I think there was actually, they were telling him all sorts of weird stuff. Like, he got to full time, and PK was saying to me, like, I was saying, why didn't you keep up with them, lad? And he said, there's a speed limit. Apparently, he was saying that the opposition players actually managed to convince him that there's a speed limit that you have to adhere to, that you have to only go at a certain speed. And he actually genuinely thought that was legit. So, you know, these are the kind of players that I'm working with. You know, this kind of intelligence. So, it's always going to be a tough ask. It really is always going to be a tough ask. We're 3-2 down at this point. We decided to bring on Rafa in centre mid, you know, just add a bit of pace in that half space. Julian Brandt, look at that. He can shoot on his left or his right. He's driving. Just driving through that midfield. And I forgot to say as well, at this point, we are actually fully playing the false nine. Goes all the way to penalties. Emre Can, I've told him to put that right in the corner, and he's refused a direct order. So, you know, what do you do with these players? They're refusing. Oh, no, hang on. Emre Can here. Yeah, right in the corner. Is that right in the corner? That's what I said to him. I kind of ushered him over, and I just said, is that right in the corner, lad? I'm not sure that was. And then Nick Brez actually body slammed him and taken him down. And that, obviously, we said cut the cameras. You know, little emotes or whatever. Cut the cameras where you put like your hand near your neck or whatever. Just that little shake of the hand. Just like, cut it quick, because Nick Brez basically just took him down. And Emre Can, I don't think he's the same man after that, because he really did get battered and bruised. So we lose that game on penalties. And I think the motivation, you know, it's difficult to keep up that same level of intensity in the performance and everything after you lose that first game. And I just had to get the players kind of back together. I had to rally the troops again. We're at 2-0 here. Harry Kane, he actually, it's funny because he was getting obviously subbed off at half time and stuff. But Harry Kane started this game and didn't even need to be subbed off because he just did that well. And in fact, the opposition manager stormed out. He just stormed out. He wasn't having any of it. I put my hand out to handshake him, and he just ignored me. which I thought was actually really rude. And I've written a letter to the opposition team to just say I think you should apologise for that, because I just wasn't happy with that at all. How are you going to not shake my hand? That's just disrespect. And in front of the cameras, you know. It's not a good look. Not a good look for some of these teams. And I think, you know, that's getting very much into the fact that we're playing a lot of frauds this year. There's so many frauds. They just, like I said, they haven't got the strats and stuff. And it's just not a good look at just getting beaten by the team that we're putting out. You know, we've not put out the best of teams. And strategically, we're playing chess against checkers. We really are. We're just kind of sending them to the shops at times. So Emre Can giving it to Kane just spins. He just kind of spins there to make it 2-2. Really good fight from the team. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, like, I don't know. I think there's been certain games where I've been watching my team. They'll be doing well. You know, doing really, really well. And then all of a sudden they just kind of peter out. And they stop fighting. And when it did get to 3-2, it looked like that was going to happen, but they just kept on going. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether... I don't think it's got anything to do with the fact that they all received death threats or something like that, if they didn't play well. I don't know. I doubt that's got anything to do with it, to be honest, because I think they're actually playing for the badge. I think they're playing for Lego Padme FC. I think they're really fighting. So, you know, say what you will. There's been bounty hunters that are putting all sorts of bounties on these lads. They're putting big price tags on them. I can hear some fireworks outside. Or is that fireworks? I think that might be my players just being slaughtered as it is. I think Boba Fett is actually just working his way through them. So, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. We're having to put players in different kind of positions, because the losses are starting to come in now. Harry Kane actually moves into the centre mid slot. We're basically playing him as, you know, he's going to penetrate through the half spaces. He's going to be able to produce some good passing and stuff like that. And we've got Zaha obviously moving to the up front position, and we felt he was ready. We felt that we could really just take the leash off him, and that he could just go screaming. He just really just unleash himself. And Harry Kane getting a goal here to make it 2-2. So we're fully just kind of going back at the opponents here. And they're getting a bit scared. So Wilfried Zaha once again. Just driving up them. We know he's got some pace. Plays the ball. What a ball that is as well. Julian Brandt gets in. Bergwijn across. And that's, you know, that's a perfect counter-attack. That's the kind of stuff that we have actually been working on in the training ground. And I think Jar Jar Binks was covering that session in particular. Where, you know, there wasn't really too much logic to it. I'll be honest, I don't really know what he was saying. I'm not sure the players were either, but they clearly learned something out of it. Because the counter-attacks that he's been working on have worked to a T. They've been perfect. And it's 2 times they've come off there, 85th minute getting a goal, and all of a sudden we're on 21 wins, and we're looking towards that Elite 3. We're looking towards a prestigious title. And, you know, the first week we managed to get Elite 2. Second week we got Elite 3. And this week we're looking to get at least Elite. You know, it's something that has to be done. It's like Lego Padme made it very clear to me in the first days of when I actually turned up to Naboo on a nice little shuttle and everything. And, you know, I came from humble beginnings. I just said to her, like, I don't really know what I can do with this team. I'll fight. You know, I'll try and put the strats in. And she was just really nice with me, but she basically said, you have to get Elite. And she was also saying that, you know, if I could have it my way, you would actually be at the club for quite a long time. But the board of directors, these lads kind of in charge of a republic. And she was saying that they're just super strict. You know, you have to get Elite to actually stay. And she was saying this is how Liberty dies, because it's turning into a bit of a dictatorship. The board of directors have actually seized control of the club at this point, and actually one of them, I think his name is Chancellor Palpatine, is starting to move towards complete control. Now, I'm getting a bit scared of that, because he's someone that doesn't want to spend any sort of money. Wants to become, you know, he's got goals to become the #1 club on the planet, but it seems like he's he's hiding something, like a planet. Because basically he calls it Operation Camino, and I think his whole kind of idea is that he's trying to just build up the coins, and when the market crashes, he wants to build a ridiculous team to just wipe any planet out of the universe, like the Death Star. He wants to create the ultimate weapon, and he's biding his time. He's waiting to do that. So, it's kind of scary. I'm hoping that doesn't fully come to fruition, but unfortunately, some of the chips are down at this point. He's looking... I think, to be fair, he did say that he was willing to put some money down, because he's seeing right now that we are kind of getting not very good results. And he's promising stability for the club. He's promising that the club can actually reach like some new heights. He's making all sorts of claims that we should be in the top 200 and all sorts of stuff like this, and that he's going to be the one to change it. So, maybe he's right. Maybe he actually is going to be the one to change it, but, it's tough to say at this point in time. I'm a little bit scared of it, though, because he just seems a bit scary, just the way he talks and all of that. So, Delaney taking down your boy Wilfried Zaha. We're actually fighting. I think this is for Elite 3. Elite 3 if we win. That would be a sick result. Like, let's not even lie about it. That would actually be a sexy result. So, Julian Brandt gets the ball across. Wilfried Zaha tucks it away. Really nice finish in the end. And we're 2-0 up. And that's exactly what we need. That's the kind of confidence we need. And you can actually see, I actually saw Palpatine was sat up there next to Lego Padme. And they were sitting there just kind of laughing. I think I just clicked my fingers there. That was kind of mank. But it's actually just because... if you know what I mean. Because otherwise, there's basically nobody that could run the club to a larger extent. So, yeah, we're pretty much just flexing at this point. We're getting the 23 wins. And, yeah, Lego Padme, Palpatine, you name it, they're all laughing. So, Espo FC we're coming up against here. And I think this was another really good team. It was another really good team, and we were kind of eyeing them up, and I had to do a lot of tactical analysis before the game, kind of looking at who could harm us. Who is going to cause the danger for the opposition. And I don't really know how they're able to break us down and get that goal. I am going to blame that on the players. I am actually going to fully shift over the blame. I said I'll protect my players, but we're coming towards the end of a weekend league year, and I don't expect many of these players to stick around. So I might as well, just blame it on them. So, yeah, at this point we're 2-2. Adama Traore goes down the right-hand side. Julian Brandt, what's he going to do? 93rd minute. We're in extra time. He just looks to hold it up. Adama Traore gives it to your boy Rafa. Look at that, man. That's when you need to turn up. But, that's honestly just such a massive goal. It's such a massive goal. I'm not even going to lie. So, Gelson Martins down the left-hand side. Across for Rafa. Across for Zaha. Bangs. 4-2. You might as well write it off at this point. This is actually looking sexy. Talisca, though. Ter Stegen. Got to be asking questions of a defender. I think that was Delaney. And he's been shouldered off by Dybala. And I'm just not really sure, who's been working on the strength training with him. Because that was actually quite pathetic. I think Nicholas Breslin, who has been working on some of the strats here and there, but he's also been a personal trainer for him, is clearly doing a great job. Quite honestly, So, Ousmane Dembele goes down the right side. Cuts in. Neymar goes down. No, I wasn't happy. And Delaney was starting to get at me a bit, because he thought he was so sick as well, for some reason. Because he is one of the lads that came out of a cryogenic freezing, and he clearly had an ego at the previous club, and it's just kind of carried on. Just get out of the club, man. Might have to get rid of him. I'm not going to lie. I'm just not happy with some of these players at this point. So, PK actually ended up becoming a CDM towards the end here. Zaha gets a goal in the 95th. Another game that goes to extra time. And Emre Can dropping into centre-back was actually kind of jokes. It was actually kind of jokes. So, across for Julian Brandt. Makes it 3-1. It's looking good. It's looking sexy, and off he goes. Another lad just jumps to hyperspace and gets right on out of the arena. So, another Elite 2 finish, and that was actually really solid. That's what we needed. We kind of bounced back a bit after that Elite 3 finish. We're back to our glory days. So, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens to the club next. So, yeah, chaps and chuppets. I'll see you on the next one. Ooh.
Trust, yeah. Competition looking hella washed. But you said you ain't Driz, man, I got what you drove. Yeah, looking at the game, it's looking hella toss. Yeah, running circles round it while they're trying to cross. Yeah, fast creative players, I want 10 of those. Yeah, this year I'm playing, smashing hella pros. Yeah, about to witness one tactical masterclass.